Yo, GM, welcome to another day, another Wonky Stonks space. It is January 23rd, 2023. Hey, is it day 69? Is it not? They all blur together at this point. Hey, quick shout out, real quick. Hondo has been busy getting all of our recorded spaces uploaded to basically everything that Twitter has archived over the past, I think they started saving them in June. So all of the Wonky Weekly spaces that we've done since that point, he has been working on uploading to both YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, basically anywhere that you can get your content, he is uploading it there. So really easy way to be able to track that back and go through some of that stuff. If you want to join as a speaker, feel free to hit that request button. I will bring you guys up here in a bit. Heck, what am I saying? I'll bring you guys up as you guys come. One way or the other, y'all know that I can talk to an empty void in an empty room either way. Rooster, welcome up. How is it going today, my man?
What up? Just multitasking. Got Vlad, Magna, and Wick streaming some trading on Twitch right now. So multitasking with the spaces.
Are you in any of these trades? What are they going for? Is this more of an NFT trading, or is this more of a price action, like looking at Bitcoin, ETH, alts?
Yeah, looking at Bitcoin, ETH, alts. I'm currently I have not been in the trading aspect for quite a few months now. Trading like alts and stuff. They're doing some requests that are in the comments to look at.
Bro, that's awesome. Love hearing people in the community, do that type of stuff. A lot of talented people in the Stonks community. Bro, it's been a lot of fun recently just looking at a lot of the price action, looking at everything going on, not just in the NFT marketplace, but obviously, looking at the underlying assets, Bitcoin, ETH, et cetera. Dude, I feel it in my bones. We are, I think that it happens this week. I think the Giga Chad God candle to the 28 to 32K range that happens in the matter of hours. I think that squeeze happens this week. Next week is my more bearish scenario. And dude, it sounds insane, but this is everything right now that I've been looking for, every single thing as far as the setup that I've been looking for since this summer. I can go through and share a bunch of the tweets, the threads, the everything else. You can look and see how it lines up to exactly the T of what I've been looking for since this summer. It's here right now. This is the inflection point that we've been waiting for. And it's crazy how it lines up with equities at a major inflection point as well right now. Broke above 4K today, also broke out of a major high time frame broadening descending wedge, which is an extremely bullish breakout pattern as well. So you've got that combo, major inflection points across the board. I think Bitcoin squeezes harder than anything else going into this. Obviously the alts are going to follow along with it, and I think altcoins with pictures outpace. But I'm pumped, man. So tell me they're not shorting though, Rooster.
No, I think they did. When I hopped in, they were talking about a quick soul short, but you can hit the soul shorts at any part in the market.
Yeah, man.
Mostly longs. Discussed Aptos a little bit because I think just since the beginning of this year, it's done 300 something percent.
So are they actually executing any trades live? Can you see what their positions, that type of stuff are right now? Or are they
not right now? I think they're, I don't think it's that part of the stream. I think it's just checking out charts, and, possible next moves and targets and stuff.
Well, love to hear it, man. Speaking of next move, targets, that type of stuff, I'm just going to give a quick shout out to the Stonks today. Obviously, it's the Wonky Stonks are inevitable space. I'm looking at it right now. We had a couple sweeps this morning. Bogfather, absolute Chad, who is, I don't know if anybody in the NFT marketplace has a higher ROI than him. this month. He has been absolutely killing it. A lot of that alpha coming from the Apasho chat. But, looking at it, bro, we are only 46 stonks to point 0.4 and 78 stonks away from the all-time high. So, dude, that floor just the space there keeps getting thinner and thinner each and every day that we're in here and that we're grinding this out, that we're showing up, man. People are noticing. And I mean, heck, also, I picked up, I think 6 stocks today myself. I mean, heck, I'm ready to pick up a lot more as long as market keeps looking bullish, man. I will help send the stocks there myself if I have to. Here, who knows? Maybe later this week, we'll see. But dude, I believe in it that much, right? Like, I've said this before in the spaces. If you don't know, I've got over 200 stonks. I mean, heck, I've probably bought over 300. The rest of them that I don't have anymore, I never sold any stonks. I've just given them away to be able to help grow the community and give back to the community over the course of the past year. And I believe in it that much, man, that like even here, I really do believe that anywhere underneath that all-time high is just like a no-brainer. So as soon as I get my hands on a little bit more liquidity, like a little bit more ETH, dude, I know I believe in the stonks more than anything else here. So,
and speaking about Kaleo and bog season, since this month, stonks have 3x and everything else is 10x. So just look for that extra movement. Stonks are about to follow for sure.
well, you said stonks have 3x and everything else is 10x. Bro, I mean, over the course of the past month, stonks of, let's see, we're at like, 0.33 or something on OpenSea. So, you look at that from a 0.06, that's more than a 6x. And
I
then
thought
where are these 10x's?
weren't we at like 0.1 at the beginning of the month? That's what I was just
Okay, at the
meaning is
beginning of the month,
yeah,
at the
since the
beginning of the
beginning of the
month,
month.
yeah, because the squeeze officially started at the end of December. But if you're looking at a 1 month time frame, I think December 23rd, we were still right around 0.06, right before Christmas Day. So, yeah, man, I mean, like within the last month, crazy price action, but it's been, really organic, really sustainable. We've got a lot of, new members to the community as well as like current members that are stacking. Like, one of the things that I think is really cool and encouraging too, you can look at the distribution, right? And we're still at a 49% distribution. I mean, that's down slightly from 50, but that's what happens when you're in an accumulation range, right? When you're in an accumulation range, usually it goes from people that don't have conviction in that range to people that do, right? So you end up having people that are in the community that end up stacking, and you have a few people that, maybe they've got a one-off stonk that they end up selling off, like, and, it goes back into the hands of the people that believe. And from that range, where I think you get more distribution are on those price expansion legs. So, as some of the people that have been stacking here, like it's reasonable. People are going to list a few, take a little bit of profit on the way. And during that process, what it does is it opens up the door for growing the community just a bit more with that, right? Richard Hawk, welcome up to the stage. How are you doing today?
Great. Good morning. Good morning. Wanted to say hi once in a while. It's 10 p.m. here over in Europe. I just helped my little one fall asleep, and now I'm sitting in front of my laptop computer checking prices, buying Ponzi's. Yeah, I'm really impressed with what you've been doing the last few weeks, Khalil. I'm getting tired of listening to spaces, and you're just going through every day, once or even twice.
Bro, you're getting tired of listening to me? What the
No,
heck,
no, no, no,
Rich?
no, no, not at all, not
Dude,
at all,
dude,
not at
I
all.
mean,
I love
tell
to
me how
listen
you
to
really
your voice,
feel.
Khalil. I love it, but all the concentration it takes me, all the community it's taking up in my heart, that just makes me tired and takes a lot of energy. But I love being here. I love re-listening to spaces I missed, and I'm staying up longer in the night to listen. And I'm here and go on. And there was something I wanted to ask you because I wanted to hear more from you. Tell me a little bit about that. I think you started, like many do, trading on the side. Um, and when was that moment? How was that moment where you realized I'm really good at this? I'm not just good in certain, how do you say, when the
I think, Rich,
circumstances
I'm
are
going to
right.
cut you off and just tell you, I think the
Yeah.
answer to that is never. Uh, no,
Really?
but for real, no, for real. Here's the deal. I think what I've learned over the course of the years is that I am really good in certain market conditions. Like I don't know
Okay.
anybody that plays a better trending market than I do. But as far as the chop, I don't play the accumulation as well. So that's why the past 6 months, if you've been in my spaces and I've talked about, well, I'm not really actively trading, it's because the market wasn't trending. It's not where I feel strong. There are a lot of people that I follow that, like heck, Trader SZ, Trader Main, like, to name a couple that I really respect as far as that level to level range type of stuff. But yeah, man, as far as my strength, I think that it's just trending. Like I do well in a trending market. Whether that's trending up or trending down, one way or the other. I play well into momentum, and I'm not sure when exactly I realized that, but I think that it just kind of happened over time.
Ah, that's interesting to hear. So you have that certain conditions that you say, I work best in those.
Yeah, and I think that's something that's important to learn for people out there too, right? Like, not every single market is a market that you should be trading. Not all conditions are equal. Know your strengths, know your weaknesses, because heck, there are a lot of people that are the exact opposite than me. They're great, level to level within a range, but like they might not do quite as well trending. That's just not how their mind is geared. So I think that it's important to know when to be able to sit on the sideline and when to put your foot on the gas.
Yeah, because I'm trying to learn trading since a year, and I'm still really bad. I think I should counter trade myself. That would actually work. And the only thing that has worked so far was high conviction altcoins with pictures plays, e.g., Wonky Stonks. Um, yeah, that is really helping.
But here's the deal with that, Richard. From the sounds of it, like the wonky stonks for you, I think is primarily more of an investment than it is a trade, just based on the time frame that you've held the majority of your stonks, right? Like, unless you've got some hidden wallet where on the daily you're sitting there taking the WETH offers, putting it back on the floor, doing whatever. But I don't even really consider that a trade as much as I consider, somebody who does that, like, it's almost like an arbitrage type. I mean, arbitrage probably isn't the best word either, but like there's, yeah, that's more of a system than it is, I think, really trading. But yeah, man, I think that like that's something that a lot of people should take note of is not everybody should trade either, right? Like the average person is going to be more profitable just holding and stacking high conviction plays, longer term bags, and being patient. It's not the thing that everybody wants to hear, but it's I think the truth. It's something real. Bogfather, let me check. What are you at on followers right? Oh shoot, you're nearly to
Yeah, dude.
8K. Let's go. That's what I wanted.
Let's go. I was laughing so hard because I'm like, why the hell is my watch like bugging out before I'm like working, and then I'm like, yeah, this is crazy. Is it the Pudgy Penguin sales bot? Like I don't know what it was, but yeah, thanks for that tweet. It just like blew up my account. I got like 1,000 followers. It's been a crazy week, man. Like I feel like. That's I don't know. That's why I feel like today is just like I've kind of like reached the point where I'm just rotating back into stocks because things are too frothy right now. I'm making too much. So I gotta like go into the it's I think it's we're back to blue chip season. We're back to blue chip season. I think this Ponzi thing is the last like degen play for a little bit. I'm gonna quit while I'm ahead. But I don't know. It's been awesome, man. Like it's been a freaking good week. Can't.
Dude, what has been your biggest winner? Is it Ponzi? Is it
Yeah.
Chibi? Or
So I
like,
made about like 10 ETH on the feet picks. I parlayed that. I mean, I just like blindly bought like 10% of the chibi supply, and that was like a 30x. And then I bought like the Ponzi's. I was getting a pedicure, and like PP was like talking about these Ponzi's. It was a zero point zero 0.01, and I bought like 50 of them there. But I had like a 0.02 average like overall, so that's like another 10x. So I think I was only trading with like 20 ETH on my DGen wallet. I turned into 70, so it's like a 200. That's like a 2.5x, 3.5x in a week off. And it's like
that's that's insane, man. Well, dude, I mean, heck, this morning, I think that I would like basically looking at transaction fees, everything else for. I mean, because basically a break even, I think total. Actually, a little bit of a loss maybe on the feet picks. I finally just sold that shit because I agree with you. I think the rotation right now is back into quality. And dude, the feet picks piss me off because like their dev literally just kept dumping, the WETH offers, and they had a wallet of 800 feet picks, right? So like how I actually think whenever they started doing that is immediately whenever they started to retrace. Like when you start dumping on your community, and I know that their meme was to send to zero, it finally just fed me up so much. I was like, F it, I don't want to look at this shit in my wallet anymore. I'm dumping it, and like I just bought 6 stonks with whatever I sold the feet picks for, because like I said, the entire time I was going to rotate whatever I got from that into stonks. And I agree with you, the stonks right now are on the edge. I think that, heck, even looking at things like the pudgies, the rogs, the seals, plague, a bunch of those are bouncing right now, that had pretty heavy sell-offs after they hit their highs. So, I think that, I mean, heck, even looking at the pandas, right? The pandas right now just flipped cool cats today. So pandas flipping cool cats, I think, is really, dude, who would have seen that coming in January of 23? It happened fast too. They did like a 10x over the last month. They've been absolutely killing it. So, the stocks right now, like, it keeps getting thinner and thinner. And it may sound whatever, it's my own project, but I truly do feel underexposed because I want to have and make sure, especially as Bogfather keeps sweeping, I'm like, I got to make sure that I've got the biggest bag of this, because I've got to be able to have that supply over the course of the next 10 years to be able to, do things with for the community, be able to give back, do that type of stuff. So it's like, as long as it's underneath the all-time high, as long as it's underneath that 0.42 level, like I'm buying one way or the other. Like that is my
You
stashing
have until
range.
Sunday, because when this Ponzi coin comes out, I think it's really going to be like bonk. Because Messi swept like 100. No, he swept 200 last night. He just found out about him. I think the CT guys, they're all like, it's going to be fun. You're going to claim the token, and it's kind of funny what they did. They have the 99% tax on the token, but they're going to be sweeping like they're going to be using the token, but like whatever the Ponzi-nomics are, like the guys in a basho, like kind of like I just went along with it. I'm like, okay, this is going to be fun. It's the perfect market conditions. I think this is like the home run. I have like 140 of those. So I think they're actually almost in parity with the stocks. Imagine if that 4X's or 5X's by Sunday. I can probably buy like 200, 300 stocks, and I'm going to do it. I literally will do it. I'm not fucking around. So I'm parlaying all my DGen gains into Kaleo, and then that's going to 10x, and it's going to be the ultimate trade. Like I'm like flipping 20 ETH into 1,000. By the end of Q1 is the goal. But yeah, that's the play. So you can front run me if you want, but I will literally under an all time high, hell, even up to 0.5, because I think these go to 5 ETH. Like once people are underestimating the stocks. Like people underestimating Kaleo. Like not the people in here, but I don't think they don't realize it yet. And now that people are making money again, they're gonna come back. They're gonna like they're going to see that the space has gotten better. It's not as cringy as it was. I think that's a big reason why CT people didn't get aboard, in 21. No more wag me stuff. I think a lot of, solid projects are kind of, etching their way in, and now you're going to have, people that are willing to dip their toes in. So you can't have enough stocks right now, I guess.
Yo, that's awesome. I mean, dude, here's the thing though, too, thinking about it. Like, I think 5 ETH is I obviously, again, I might be biased. I think five is reasonable enough for this year. I mean, heck, I wouldn't be surprised to see it run up even higher if the, broader market conditions are right. Right. Like if NFTs as a whole really take off and, the whole pudgy thesis of breaking above the 12K USD happens and the entire market runs with it. And, you start seeing things like the pandas over 10 ETH, like big pudgies over 20, you start seeing shit like that play out, then, I don't think Stonks, having like, look at what Squiggles did back in the day, man. Like whenever Squiggles had that run, it didn't take them more than a few months to run from sub 1 ETH to like 40 ETH, right? Like, so I'm not saying that exact same type of run is going to happen with the stocks, like with this, but I'm just saying when you look at the comparison for what can happen in the right market conditions, when people have put in the work and the community, everything like that is in place, I don't think that there are many other projects primed better in this range than the stocks are. Like, it's, again, it's biased, but like looking at the TA, looking and knowing like the community, the distribution, the history, everything else, dude, there's just not much that beats out. I mean, the art, like it's incredibly unique. Everything about it is unique. But like where I really think the run is, Bogfather, I really, really, really think when stonks like completely take over is 2024, 2025. Like, 2023, I think we're going to have a nice fun run, right? Like, I think we will cement ourselves as something that people can't ignore. But 2024, 2025, like, dude, there's no way that, like, it is not like, I literally want to hustle and will hustle until I make this, like, people, whenever people think of generative art, and they think of those type of projects, they think of art blocks right now. I want them to think of art blocks and LedgArt, like, and Wonky Stonks, right? Like, that is the goal. And, obviously it's up to whoever in here for whether you believe in that or not. But like, I fully believe in it. I believe in myself. I know the work that I can put in toward it. And like, I'm going to do it. Right. So one way or the other, like, it's never a straight path. But I mean, dude, if I wasn't committed to this, I would have walked away whenever everybody thought that it was dead underneath
Yeah,
0.1 ETH for the
that's
past 15
that's the
months.
thesis, man. You should have walked. I mean, it was so dead. Like, not that you should have walked away, but like you had the opportunity. It was really like last year was bad for the whole market, and we like the community just kept growing, and that's like the thesis too. Like Web3 community, it's not a meme. Like, look at all the successful projects. Like, what do they all have in common? Strong community. But shout out. Speaking of that, shout out PP. I owe you a steak dinner when I see you with all these calls. A basho. If you don't have an abasho, man, Jesus, I don't know what you're doing. You're. I mean, you missed out on the most amazing week we've had in quite a while. So shout out to basho.
Hey, you notice I'm not even tweeting about these calls either because I learned my lesson last time when I tweeted about feed picks at 0.01. I got some flack for that. So I'm not tweeting out calls anymore. I totally get the frustration because feed picks do deserve 0.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I'm that exact same way right now. I'm like, okay, you know what? Like, and hey, even at the point, I made sure with the feet picks, and I did not sell myself at this point, but I told everybody in these rooms, like, the 0.16 area, I was like, please, God, sell these, right? Like, they do deserve 0. I was like, could they run up? Maybe, but like, please do it.
But
And finally, even right now, they're above where, they're above that area where I first started buying in and talking about them. But like,
yep.
dude, it's just one of those things where you learn, like, there's something, social equity is a real thing, right? And
Yep.
you've got a certain amount of social capital that you can spend on whatever initiatives and whatever you talk about. So you better make sure that whatever you're talking about is a high conviction play, because otherwise, like, it eats in, it burns into that capital. And
Yep.
I don't necessarily think that the feet picks killed anything with that capital, right? But like, I think that enough degen plays that you're willing to take the risk on, obviously all it takes is one to really like play out and pay out and work out. But at the end of the day, if you continue to do that, and like there are a lot of losers in that mix as well, you burn a lot of social capital. It's
Very
just
true.
not worth it. So like, just focus on where the quality is, and like, that's where you build social capital rather than spend it.
And don't let Bach fool you. He owes me about 8 steak dinners for the play this week. So
Yeah, I mean, you're doing pretty
still
well
riding
for
that one.
yourself with that one trade, dude. You're gonna get like 5 or 6 penguins, or you're probably gonna get 10 by the end of the week, honestly.
Yeah, what is this trade, PP? Give it a shill.
I'm not even saying it.
It's got to
what I'm
be in
saying.
the
Like,
Abasho chat. Got to be in the Abasho chat.
no, it's not even that. It's like, I just like, I refuse to talk about degen shit, man. Like, it's just one of those things. Like, you got to be careful with what you put your money into. I don't want people putting money into stuff that, like, it's always a dice roll for me, right? So like, this is it's such a stupid return, and it may go to 0, but it's just one of those things where it's like 0 of a holla for me. Already got my initials out, so we'll see what happens.
Love to hear it, man. I mean, dude, that's the thing I love hearing the most, though, is everybody coming in these spaces and fired up and like seeing everybody winning, right? Like, if you've been on these spaces for the past, 12 months, there's not a person on these spaces, on the stage that's losing right now with it, right? Like, everybody that's up here has been killing it one way or the other. I mean, heck, Rooster, everything that you've been plugged into, absolutely destroying it, man. I mean, your two biggest conviction plays, Pandas and the Stonks, ripping. Dude, and it's just a fun time. A very much needed month after the last 8+ months, right? Like it was due.
Hey, Bog, did you see that sweep?
Wait, oh yeah. Dude, this is honestly so silly. Like, what did I told you that was gonna go too, right? Like, I think oh boy, dude, I'm seriously probably gonna end up with another like 100 stonks. I'm not even gonna tell you. Like, you have until Sunday. Put a countdown. You have until Sunday. PP's gonna rotate his profits to the Penguins, so that'll be fine too. I already have 30 of the rarest Penguins you can possibly get. So.
Yeah, one thing I don't
you should
have.
buy one more mythic.
One thing I
it's done for sale.
One thing I don't have is like a good, like, rare pudgy, and I think with this play, I'm hoping to get like a good rare pudgies and a few more. So we'll see
I
how
want
it
a
goes.
gold skin, but like, I'm not paying 75
That's the
ETH for
plan.
one.
That's the
That's
plan.
it's a bit pricey, but I could buy it for 75 ETH. How many stocks? I'm doing the math right now, but I gotta outdo King Degen. I want King Degen to like one up me. We're just gonna keep we're having a stonk off.
Well, I mean, and then lumber, but dude, lumber's always done it just quiet accumulation, right? Like his has never been, and I say that he has the sexy rare buys, right? Like, but other than that, he just slowly has accumulated this massive bag. And dude, I'm telling you, that's one of the other things that's really bullish. If you look at like all of the top stonk holders, you know, the top stockholders are all people that really freaking believe in the project, right? Like it's something where it's not like some quick flip type of play. It's people that really have been here for a while, and that, like, I think they recognize the potential and believe in the vision, right? Like, it's people that freaking love the art. And I know that it's people that love the art because being serious, Hondo and I were even talking about it more this afternoon, about how much we've learned about the project and about the art itself over the course of the past month, right? Like, they're just little things that people notice every day. And dude, I think that's one of the things why, like, when you look at how it can become a little bit more difficult to gain traction in something. Like things that are low IQ gain traction fast, but they don't always stay very well. Things that are high IQ, and the stomps are high IQ, man. Like they're a high IQ project when you're looking through the different traits and the different, what people value, what they don't. Like it's not quite as simple, but I think that uniqueness and the fact that there are so many different things that people do value within the project is what really does add to its staying power and its historical significance.
I agree. And I think projects to look for in this space are the high IQ and the low IQ plays. The low IQs are often going to miss, but the high IQs are what I would, predominantly roll those low IQ hits into.
Well, bro, it's like the Pudgies, right? Like
yeah,
the Pudgies, high IQ play, but like, man, it takes time, right? Like it didn't happen overnight. Maybe that initial pump, whatever, the initial success back in August, but like forget about that. Look at everything else that it's been through past that initial leg. Like it took time building that base, right? And again, any project with a super strong base that has a momentum breakout right now is what I'm really bullish on, honestly.
Dude, PP though has like, because he is like the king of the memes. Like he has an eye for memes. Like I don't know what it is, dude. Like you're like a meme savant, dog. Like you just see something, and I'm like, it's getting to the point where it's like whatever it is, I'm instantly aping into whatever dumb thing you put in that chat because it's so like, I don't know where you find these things, man. Like it's actually insane.
and that means a lot coming from you, Bog, especially with me being the worst trader of all time.
Hey, man, you just need to have the eye, man. Doesn't matter about trading. I mean, at like this point, it's like it's getting a little frothy. That's why we were talking about it before you joined the room. Like, I think we are going to it's going to be Pengu. Like, it's just going to be blue chip season over the next month. I mean, we had a little bit of a break. I've gotten all the degen stuff out. Now I can just continue to shit post and not have to stay up for 18 hours and monitor all this stuff.
Yeah.
So it'll be comfy.
No, yeah, I'm with you. I think like as crypto people, like we're kind of used to this, right? Like we're used to the blue chip coins having the run, and then like this total shit coins just like moving for a little while, and then it just transitions back. So it's kind of become a thing in NFTs, it seems.
Yeah, hopefully FOMO Phil. He's not on stage, but I really hope that. Did you try talking him out of that? I feel like he's gonna regret that in less than a week.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
But yeah, even looking at it, bro, like the majority of sales that are happening at this point are all like these random ass wallets that like either minted or bought over a year ago, and you look through their wallets, and they're like, oh, dude, I felt so terrible. There was one guy, there was a guy that dumped like 12 today. He minted out 12 initially, and he just dumped 12 into a blur offer, all of them. And I looked at his wallet, and I felt terrible because, dude, the average shit he had in there, like there was this one, I forget the name of the project, but there was one anime type project where his average, he had like 10 or 12 of them. His average sale price for what he purchased them for were over 5 ETH. And I looked at the floor, it was 0.06. So like, and there was a lot of other shit, and I just felt terrible. I'm like, man, well, I felt good because I'm like, hey, he got a W with the Stonks, but dude, there are a lot of people out there right now. I think that's one of the things that, again, you're just looking at a lot of people that have kind of woken up over the course of the past year that have just unloaded a few, and it's going back to the hands of high conviction plays. And I love just seeing that emotion charted out. Like, I pinned that chart up there. Dude, it's so beautiful how the underlying emotion, I really feel like you do learn so much more trading and investing in NFTs. You learn so much more about trading than you do just trading a normal order book, right? Like having that exposure, having the transparency to the people that are making the trades, all of it being 100% transparent on the blockchain, does, like, bro, it's made me a better trader in general outside of just NFTs. Like, it helps you understand market psychology so much better.
I'm not even gonna lie, like buying up a big part of the supply for a small, like for like a smaller coin or smaller NFT, like you could start market making, honestly. Like too, I mean, with the pseudo swap pool, but you could also play a lot of games. It's like the same stuff that you'd see in the order book on any exchange. Someone just like loading up, like spoofing, like sales and stuff. Like there's a lot of things you could do. Laddering, like I mean, Blur is really really cool. If anyone in here hasn't checked it out, I think that's really the edge. Like figuring out how to use Blur and all the little they're not even really advanced options, but getting like comfortable with that. And understanding like all the little manipulation tactics like that people with a large supply can do with that stuff. So yeah.
Well, the highest IQ thing really is look for the collections that are going to stick around over the course of the next year plus. And like again, as NFT perps really do become a big thing in the next couple of years, which they will, and then NFT collateralization also becomes a bigger thing as you're starting to get more liquidity and just higher market caps on a lot of these projects. Like, the real end goal with a lot of these is, you really, like, if you play it right with some of these projects, I don't even think that you'll have to sell some of them, right? Like, I think that you can literally just take out loans on some of them and like be in a tax advantage position from doing that as well, from not selling. And then, I don't know. I'm no accountant. I may have said some shit wrong. Somebody can come up and correct me. But like, I think that is a higher IQ play. At the end of the day, with a lot of this, is if you just think about the direction of where it's going and like now versus the potential for what it can be, I'm telling you, like, that I think is the higher IQ play, is having that type of exposure. If you're talking about market making, like, that's when you're really market making.
No, I mean, it's kind of what the ultra rich do, right? Like they use their equity as collateral. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I mean, the apes are kind of doing it now, and when hopefully the penguins ascend to that level, taking out loans, like really, depending on if you're not using it to like leverage trade or do dumb stuff with, could be like, I mean, I am actually a CPA. I moonlight as a CPA, but that's not a bad option. And again, especially for like cash flow purposes, like we're all pretty freaking liquid, so hopefully, like, there's more lender platforms out there, and there's more liquidity during the next run.
Caesar, welcome back to the stage. Our resident Ute in the spaces. How is it going today?
Bro, Caldeo, man, I'm fucking good, man. Always fucking good, bullish as fuck, always. Present here, following the alpha from the boss, from the legend. I love to see you, man. I always love to see you and listening to you, and I love to see you happy, man. So that's good, bro. So I'm hosting spaces every day, right? And the guest of today, the guy kind of like was thinking about NFTs and all the philosophy, psychology, and all like kind of like the fundamentals things about NFTs, right? And this made me think, right? So let's say, for example, I just want your comments on what I'm about to say. This guy Franklin, right? This guy holds hundreds of Bored Apes. Do you know who is this guy, right?
Yeah, I'm familiar with Franklin.
Exactly. So when Bored Apes were at the top, why he didn't sell? Why? He could have sold many of his apes and then buy way more in the bear market, right? And then I also wonder, let's say Wonky Stonks do 100x or 150x, even 500x, man. Which how fucking
Why
crazy.
stop there?
Yeah, you get my point.
Yeah.
So when that happens, shall we sell? Do you get my point?
Bro, yes, there's a point. I'm going to just say it. Like, there's a point with, well, I don't care if it's the stonks or anything else. If there is like an amount of, value that you can realize from that to do something to positively benefit your life, right? Like that you need. If it becomes a gamble, and it's too big of a gamble, and you've got something where you're like, man, this could settle a real problem, be a real solution for me right now. Like, I think that's the point. Like, there definitely should be a point with that. And, if it gets to a point where it's super frothy, like, it's always smart to take profits. I'm not going to sit there and, shame anybody for doing anything like that. Like, so, I think that point's different for anybody or for everybody. But, I mean, heck, I had a guy that DM'd me the other day and he asked me, hey, here's my stunk. What do you think it's worth? And I said, it's worth whatever you can sell it for. But I was like, well, he was like, well, what would you value it at right now? And I was like, well, I mean, my take is obviously way more than you. I think people are insane if they sell this shit before 10 But like, again, like the value of something is always what you can sell it for, and the point that you should sell it for is different for every single person, right? Like, and that's why nobody can come up here and give a definitive answer for that. As far as the Franklin comment, bro, like I think everybody's sat there at a certain point of their lives, if you've been investing long enough and you've asked yourself the question, why did I not sell more at the top, right? Like that's the natural thing that happens when tops form and you didn't get it, like, it just doesn't always work out like that. So, yeah. Puck, what's going on, man?
What's up, guys? I cannot lie. I'm completely butt naked right now. I just got out of the shower. But I don't know. It wasn't necessary for me to say that, but just want to be transparent. But yeah, like you were saying, I think you or LedgArt retweeted the guy who took a trip to New York after selling his stock. Like, that's awesome. He used that money to fund his trip to New York. It's beautiful.
Oh, perfect example. Yeah, I'm going to pin that. Like Chris Farley or something. Let's see. Dude, he's been a loyal member of the stonk community for a long time, kind of hanging out a little bit in the background, but still, always there. And yeah, he tweeted that out earlier. Sold one of my Wonky Stonks to fund the trip to New York City. Bullish as fuck on the rest. Let's go. Bring luck to the Stonks by grabbing the bull by the balls. I love to see that, man. Again, if he's him selling that allowed him to do something like that, like, a trip that provides him experiences you can't put a value on, like, I'm all for that type of stuff, right? I think that it's just, you just, I think with a lot of things, the difference is where I think the one type of sale that isn't necessarily the one that I would recommend people doing is, again, a lot of the time it's the rotation type thing where, you sell a winner to look for another winner because you're getting FOMO on something else. You buy into the top somewhere else, then you watch your original bag run without you, right? Like, that's the type of thing you got to be careful about in this game is just, it's easy to watch happen, man. And I've been in that boat so many times I can't even count. But that's the type of thing that you really have to watch out for, right? If you have a position and you want to build that position, the worst thing that you can do a lot of the time, for the majority of people, the worst thing that you can do is sell part of that position to then gamble with it, to then hope that you can buy more of that position back with it. Like 9 out of 10 people are going to end up losing those trades and, be in a spot where they have less than what they had originally.
Insane answer, man. Insane answer. I really appreciate it, man, because I was having a mental breakdown thinking about it. What should we do? You get my point? And the goal at the end is always we should do whatever maximizes our life, right? So as you said, if at some point the Wonky Stonks or whatever other asset that you have can make a change in your life, can improve your real life, real experience with the world. So let's just fucking go for it, man. So
that's it, man. And dude, you can't. The other thing on that, if you are doing that, have the discipline to do it, right? Like, don't have FOMO if the project keeps running to whatever level. It is what it is, right? Like, I think that FOMO a lot of the time stems from a little bit of greed. If you've already made the winning trade, if you've already done that, forget where it goes from there. Like, you did what you needed to do. So, I respect people that come from that place and those type of decisions. It's just the nature of the game. You're you can't always like, get a million X on every single thing that you do. So again, just appreciate the wins when they're there. 80s, how are you doing today, man? I forget, you said that you were working on something right now, right?
Yeah, I just actually got back. I was in traffic when you brought me up, and just got back to the house. I was at the property today. But much love, everyone. Happy Monday. Let's get the vibes rolling for the week.
What's going on?
Easel, bro, your fucking PFP is mind-blowing. I saw it earlier when you posted it, man. That is
Thank you. Appreciate
insanity, dude. Insanity. Love it, man.
Thank you, man. Have to add my wonkies in there.
Hey, yo, shout out, by the way, to Kick-Ass, who just swept like 5 stonks. We are now officially 71 stonks away from the all-time high. 71 stonks away. It's slowly creeping there. Future Whale pinned something the other day, and I've slowly just been commenting on it as like a few get knocked off that number. But it's, even if the floor isn't quite on, the quote unquote floor isn't moving to whatever, like you're looking at the consolidation and just the thinness of the floor, which I think is a real, there need to be more metrics on that. Like, I think I talked about this way back in the day, but I think if there were a metric kind of tracking average, listings at whatever depth, that it's a lot more accurate than just pinning, oh, this is the cheapest one available and going off that metric. Puck, what's going on?
I was just gonna say this is like the first like real traditional like OpenSea type NFT project I've ever been in, and I just want to say it's so.
So
cool.
What do you mean by that, sir?
Well, I mean like things that are like half-ass NFTs. Like, they call it an NFT, but it's not really yours. You can't move it around to wallets and stuff like that. But I was just making a quick point about the floor price. It's so cool to see like a bunch of stocks selling off of the floor. Like how each stonk is so unique that like people are like picking ones that they think look cool and they buy it, and like it doesn't matter if it's like the lowest on the floor, I guess.
Yeah, man. I mean, we're in the phase right now where that's another thing too, right? The floor has slowly been thinning out, but during this accumulation phase up in this range, we've had a lot of really big, rare sales. So people are right now going for that high tier quality as well. So, it's not one of those, like, this is a range where people that have conviction are adding what they want to add.
It's killing me not being able to consolidate right now, too. It's driving me fucking crazy, to be honest with you.
Nah, bro. I mean, you're good. Dude, you've got a solid stock bag to ride to Valhalla one way or the other. Yeah, man. All of this is a lot of fun. Like, dude, it's just been fun though too. Again, we've talked about this every time, but like, just I think the memories that we're making here as part of that process just add so much to the strength of that foundation. As we move on from here, like it's fun doing it, and I think it's going to be even more fun to reflect on these days. When we finally realize what we're talking about now. Rooster, what's up, man?
Any update on Wonky South by Southwest?
Bro, I mean, I'll tell you this. South by Southwest right now is like, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out something that we could potentially do, depending, like, for a small group of people, whoever ends up going up there, right? Like, but it's tough finding much official venue type things available right now in the city of Austin for South by Southwest. Like, I think that's something you got to do like a year in advance. So I'm trying to get creative with Hondo, and definitely want to try to do something, but I'm just not sure what that'll look like.
If you guys want, Hondo, reach out to me too. We're trying to coordinate something right now, and I have a list of venues that I'm trying to contact this week. So, well, if you guys want to do something, I'll help you guys out. We can collaborate on something, but options there for you, brother.
Yeah, man, let us know. DM Hondo, he's faster at DMs than I am.
Oh, I know. I'm waiting 3 months.
Oh man, I mean, like, hey, I just have to speak the truth. I will, whatever it happens. Speaking of that, I'm going to read your DM right now that you DM'd me about earlier. Oh shoot, that's a long DM. I don't know if I'll be able to read it and focus on the stage. 80s, you got to moderate while I read this thing if you want me to read it right now.
All right, cool. Oh man. So Richard, brother, I see you on stage, man. How you doing today?
I just said hi at the beginning of the stage.
Well, I wasn't here, so I'll say hello again.
Yeah, say hello again. No, nice talking to you. Everything's fine.
Richard, you can't rug him with that type of an answer. You gotta keep it fresh. Sorry for butting in. Keep going.
Yeah, I have to start at the beginning. It's 11 p.m. in Europe. It's already dark, late at night for us. Children sleeping, me watching my computer and looking for nice buys.
Love it, man. Love it. Hey, Rooster, I do have a question for you, though. While we're looking and talking about Austin, have you heard of any other outside events other than what Wonky or we're trying to do?
Nope, not one.
Not one, right?
Yeah, not fucking one.
Yeah, that's the thing, and that's the thing though too. Why I here I am cutting myself off halfway through the message to talk. I like South by Southwest isn't this huge NFT thing. Like there are a few things there, but again, that doesn't mean that if we've got a few people rolling out there that we can't do something.
Well, that's
Yeah,
what we were
well,
kind
it's
of
not.
talking about. Is
Yeah,
like
it's not huge
being
until Wonkies do something there.
right.
Then you have the attention of everybody, right?
Because there's going to be a lot of NFT motherfuckers there, and they're going to be looking for something.
That is true. That is true. I mean, hey, maybe if I'm doxxed by then, that'll be part of the attention grabber too. Maybe if that happens.
You have to show up to see Kaleo docs.
That's it.
What was the one thing we said a while ago? Like, put Kaleo in a dunk tank and you get the sign up. Oh shit,
bro! I'm not signing. Here's the deal: if we're gonna do a Kaleo dunk tank, we're doing it before I dox, and I'm paying somebody else to take my spot up there.
Oh man, we'll put you in a clown wig.
I mean, I've been the man in a dunk tank before, and I won't lie, I hated it. Like, I really absolutely. There were parts of it that were fun, but I really did not enjoy the overall experience of just constantly. It felt like a slow motion waterboarding. Like I did it back during a couple of Young Life camps that I volunteered at. Which, speaking of, officially had the meeting with the area director here earlier, and I officially am going to lead again. So that is going to start happening.
That's awesome.
Yeah, dude, I'm excited about it. Like, it'll be good to have something to get me out of the house a little bit more too. And again, when you have a greater purpose and you're not pursuing it, like there's just this emptiness in your life. And I feel like that's me right now, right? Like if I'm, I enjoy all this. Like I love it, right? I'm passionate about it. But if I am not giving back outside of this, right? Like if I am not like, pursuing my faith like as my main primary directive, like I am not, I'm not me, right? I'm not fully joyful. I am, there's an emptiness. So I think that like I am at my best when I am, doing that type of thing, even if it means being a little bit outside of your comfort zone, sacrificing a bit of time, whatever. Like, I think that at the end of the day, when you're pursuing a purpose greater than yourself, it recharges you, even if you are spending that time spending whatever else. So I'm hyped about it, man. Hyped. I'm
That's
ready to
incredible, man.
learn all the Zoomer, 14-year-old rooster lingo. I'm just kidding. I don't know where I came up with this narrative that Rooster is 14. But
He's close in age, but hey, Young Life though, man. I used to do Young Life too, up until I was like 23, and then that's when I started like with my career and stuff. But I think that's a really noble effort, like that we all should, try to strive for in life, is to give back this energy, this power that we have to help other people. I know we do it constantly in this space, but it's so much more impactful in real life. So I'm really happy that you have the awareness to even mention that is like a really important part of living life. So hats off, brother.
appreciate it, my man. Yeah, I'm hyped about it. Again, it'll help me in the thread guy spaces for sure, as far as being able to keep up with the conversation. Um, Smokey, my man, what's going on? Welcome up to the stage. How's it going today?
Good to be here. This is my first time space. Glad to come on day number 69. Very nice. But yeah, you guys were just talking about giving back, and yeah, I really like that, man. It's definitely something like near and dear to me, and I think it helps me overall in my life just to kind of get outside of myself. I work with at a program that works with people on felony probation, doing rehabilitative services, and something that I've been like thinking about lately, is that it seems like probably in the next 6 months to a year, like the possibility of full-time Web3 work is looking very doable, and I'm just wondering, like for me, what will happen when my main focus turns from being of service to others to something that I'm very passionate about, but at the same time, like it's not as fulfilling as that, and yeah, maybe I could get your thoughts on that, Kaleo, of how to kind of like maybe like come to terms with that sort of thing.
Yeah, man, happy to answer. So, like, I guess it's a multifaceted answer. Whenever I was graduating college, I was really plugged into ministry while I was in college, right? I was the chaplain of my fraternity, did a bunch of other stuff there, while I was there. And I had this conviction where I thought that I needed to go into full-time ministry, right? Like I thought I needed to go be a missionary, do something like that. Like my grandparents were missionaries, and always respected their values and the way their relationship with both God and with others. So felt that for a while, but there was just something that just didn't really feel fully right in it. So I ended up pursuing a career in engineering, and in the process, though, what I told myself and what I truly believe is that like ministry doesn't have to be a full-time occupation. It should be, regardless of what your title of what you're doing is, right? Like it's something that you should do as you go. And I believe, same thing, whether it's ministry with your faith or whether it's, giving back with your time with, the type of program that you're involved in. I think that there are ways, even if that program per se doesn't necessarily fit the bill exactly anymore, you've got to pursue whatever you're passionate about, whatever you believe as you go. It shouldn't be a switch you flip on and off in certain situations. And I think just continuing to be authentic. I mean, that's the thing too, right? Like, I'm not sitting here trying to be pushy about my faith on stage, but like, if I don't talk about who I am and what I believe, then I'm not authentic, right? Like, you're not getting the real me. And I don't want to sell an image of something that I'm not. So, like, I will gladly talk about who I am and what I believe all day long, right? Because I think that it's important. So it's the same thing with what you're talking about there. And I will say this, though, too, man. I mean, over the course of the past couple of years, whenever I really started to dive down the rabbit hole of the last bull run, I feel like I lost that a little bit, right? Like, I was so just entrenched in this pursuit for money and this pursuit for fame and pursuit for all things that focused on me, that during that process, I think I lost myself. right? Like during the process of trying to build myself up and pursue all these, superficial things that don't last, like I think I lost myself in the process. So, it's been something really important for me to, heading in through this bear market and into the next bull market, that I don't want to, sacrifice one thing that, takes away from who I am. So I think that's the thing too. Just be mindful of that. And if you're losing that along the way, you know, just be aware of that and question how you can change things, flip the balance, because you've got to be mindful of yourself in the process, and dude, don't sell your soul. Like it's that simple. Smokey, yes sir, what's up?
I love that, man. And I think like one thing with like, I don't know, I definitely agree with you about like being your authentic self in Web3, and I see some people that do that here that aren't afraid to talk about who they are. I understand that we're anonymous here, and we got like profile pictures and these usernames and whatnot, but I think the people that really kind of break out in this space are the ones that are authentic and that like create genuine relationships with people and talk about what's going on with them. Like, I know myself and some others in the space, like we've talked about like, being sober and just like not really being like too afraid to talk about things that might be a little uncomfortable. Right. But yeah, I really like that with not losing yourself. Like once you, like kind of go through this space, because there's a lot of greed here, right? And with that, you can really lose who you are as a person, and you can put a lot of things in your life on the back burners in the pursuit of whatever it is, right? And for you, it seems like when you put things before God's, your general sense of well-being kind of suffers a little bit, and that for me, like it's when I place, I guess, when I get too self-involved, that's when things really start to kind of go down the drain. And that's why I've literally, like, for the past almost 7 years, I've had to work in a field where like I have no choice but to think about others, because I was so, self-obsessed and self-interested due to addiction and alcoholism. And so yeah, it's nice though, like getting to the point to where, like, let's say that there is full-time Web3 work, like with that will come a lot of freedom, right? But with that will come a lot of choice. And what I do with that, and how I kind of balance, I get to choose, okay, well, yeah, I got a lot of freedom throughout the day. Maybe I could go out and like feed some homeless people, and still kind of stay service oriented. Right. So yeah, well, thanks for your answer, Kaleo. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course, man. The thing is that a lot of people don't realize is more choice doesn't always equal more freedom. You, without even realizing it, can imprison yourself into certain habits of laziness, greed, whatever the heck else it is. And, like it's all about the decisions that you make. And that's one of the things too, where it's something I heard back in the day, and it's real. Like, if you want something done, give it to somebody who's busy, because they know how to make time for it, right? Somebody that has all the free time in the world won't necessarily do that. So always, you should always try to stay busy. Relaxation and refreshing is important, but staying busy and focusing on the right things, the important things, is necessary also. I'm going to kick it over to 80s Easel, then Eloc. 80s, what's up, man?
I was going to add another level to it. Mindful of balance, right? Coming into any endeavor that you do in life can have an overwhelming effect to us. And sometimes we latch on to attachments, and sometimes our subconscious attaches onto a dopamine hit. And these dopamine hits add to your it basically hinders your ability to have that balance. We're so focused on one aspect of it that we lose sight. So being mindful of taking the time to step back sometimes and observe and have a proper reflection on things can really help to that level. And it brings forth that true authenticity, because you are, in a sense, combined with the inner source within you, that is your authentic self at that point. So having that balance and that time to really reflect and align with that authentic self is really, really crucial. But that's my tirade.
Appreciate that, man. Always appreciate your tirades. Easel, what's up, man?
Yeah, it's amazing listening to you guys talk about this. I always get excited. It's probably one of my favorite parts when we get together and talk. But I wanted to talk and focus on the giving back part. I wanted to add to that. And I'm going to just run right quick through summary of my life in the most fastest, simple way. I was born in another country, come from humble beginnings. We didn't have much back then, even though the majority of my family lived here. Came over here, fast forward to 2019, working 7 days a week. It's all about the money. Family and kids, they're to the side because I need to get somewhere. You know what I mean? I need to get this, and then I'll have time for you. And that was the life. But for myself, I was at the top. You know what I mean? I got my money. I got everything I wanted. What I didn't have was time for anybody. I didn't have time for nobody, not even my kids or my wife. And that is even to help giving back by helping somebody else. Go to the R, vacation 2 weeks by myself, taking out my families and friends, spending money, alcohol, beach to beach, everywhere, having fun. Last day, get into an accident. Boom, couldn't walk, everything destroyed. Had to stay in the country 2 months and a half. And guess who came throughout those 2 months and a half to give to me? Everybody that had way less than me. Carry me to the car. You know what I mean? Have men help me shower. You know what I mean? My cousin quit his job and stayed with me for 2 months just to be there for every need. They didn't have anything. Sometimes they wouldn't even take my money when they go out and give me food. They will, they get paid a fraction of what we get paid here. What they gave me was time. Bunch of random people showing up. Time. Just taking care of me. You know what I mean? And that opened my eyes because at the time that was all I had. With that point I'm saying is I learned that, financials and everything is nice. But even a quick phone call to a friend, to a family member on their birthday, saying, hey, happy birthday, 30 seconds, I hope you're doing well. That is giving. You know what I mean? Don't think that if you don't have anything, you can't give. Time is the most valuable thing that we overlook. And that's why, that's how I move now, man. That's how I move.
Bro, that hit the soul, and I mean it. Time really is the most valuable gift because it's really easy to say that somebody has a surplus to be able to just write a check and buy something, send whatever, and that shows a bit of thought. But time really is, I think, what nobody can buy any more of, right? Everybody has a set amount, so it really is the ultimate gift. And it also is something to be important too. And this was something I really grappled with before I ended up, making the commitment to deciding to do Young Life again. It's really easy to make excuses when you know that you need to do something, to just say, man, well, my time could be, what if something else comes up? What if there are these other events, right? And you go through all the what ifs that are out there and you make up excuses. The thing that finally clicked to me is, what if I don't do this now, right? Like, will I ever? What are the conditions that are going to change in my life to where all of a sudden this will be convenient? And I couldn't think of any. I went through the list, and I don't think there will ever be a time in my life that's more convenient to serve and to do that type of stuff than there is right now. So it's like, if I can't do that right now, then when? So, I think that's something for everybody to be able to reflect on, whatever it is that you kind of have that conviction that you need to do, like, just do it. right? Like freaking Nike it up and just do it, because otherwise, what's going to change to trigger that change? Nothing. Eloc, you had your hand up earlier. What's up, man?
Yo, so I'm just coming up on stage to tell Smokey maybe you should like change your perspective on like how you can help people in Web3. Because like at the end of the day, the reason that I wanted to work full time and like nothing else I wanted to do in life, like work in any other industry, was because I saw crypto as like the most revolutionary like way to like bank, you know, like the cliches of like unbanking the or banking the unbanked and like all that stuff. So like when I wake up and like work on Web3 code every day, I'm like I'm helping like transition the world to this new financial system. That's not like biased against like Western American like financial system that they keep everyone else out of. And like you got to get excited about like the DJ and stuff, because like to me that's like financial freedom. Like yeah, I can go buy feet picks, but like I have like friends in India and friends in Colombia that like, you know, they're like they don't have as well off of like an environment that they grew up in. They're like showing me like how, you know, just like minting a couple NFTs like help them kind of get out of the poverty, or like just having like access to like financial products. So like I would like look at the roots of like what crypto is about, like, and it kind of sucks because like everyone talks about the money, but like the money is the part that's like that's going to change the world, because like we're fixing finance, but like the degens and like, you know, like the gambling, that gets, the noise gets in the way, but like the core like values, and like you look at a lot of hardcore like Bitcoiners or, you know, like DeFi builders, like they care about like making things decentralized so like the government can't remove them, and like we like care about like creating this financial system to like help the world become like more prosperous.
Smokey.
I love that, man. You know, and it made me kind of think about like I feel like when I first got into this space, and like I guess really on Twitter, right? And going around into some different spaces, there's definitely like some spaces that weren't so welcoming. Like this space is like super great. You know, it's just really nice. Like people are like really opening up, and they're willing to like talk about like deep subjects, which is what I craved like when I first came to this space. And instead, like I was met with bullying and, you know, just not so friendly spaces, and that's cool. You know, that there was like a place for that, and people enjoyed that. That was just kind of like the meta at the time, but that was not what I liked. You know, and I did find some spaces that were really nice. You know, and like people were very welcoming, and we were talking about important topics, not just crypto but life. And like for me, like I've been a group, like a, you know, like a cognitive behavioral therapy group facilitator for like 6 years, right? So I've been able to go and translate that experience over into spaces hosting. And I really enjoy that, like providing a space for people to talk about things, and keeping it within a range, right? Like Kaleo does, like you're doing a good job of keeping it within a range. Like we get to like kind of like joke around, and we don't let it get too serious, and like that's like always like a sign of like a good spaces host, right? So like, yeah, I like that, you know, and also like, you know, just you were talking about how like this changes some people's lives. There's this, I was in a space before this with this guy Deep. Like I'm sure you guys have heard of him or seen him. He's a spaces host, and you know he lives in India, and he talks about, you know, like hosting spaces. You know, if he gets like $1,000 like that's 6 months rent for him. Like how cool is that? Like that is so wonderful. And like that's a great thing about like Web3 that I found, is being able to come in this space and just, if you can provide value, like you can derive like value for yourself. And it's just based on what you do. Nobody cares about your credentials, like really. Like I mean, maybe for like stock trading and analysts and stuff, but there's lots of different things in Web3 where if you can do it, if you can get the organic experience, like you can go make something of yourself in this space. And I really like that. And I also really like the mentorship, and the accessibility of people that are willing to go and say, hey, you know what, like I was where you were 6 months ago. Let me help you out a little bit. And I know that has definitely been the case for me. And I wouldn't be anywhere near as far as I am if there were not people willing to reach out their hand. So I do try to go and do that. And maybe like if I do go full-time Web3, maybe I could like create like some sort of like a mentorship program. Like I've already kind of started to try to do that within the Utes community with some different things. I hold the Utes community space, and that community is really great. Everybody's like super wonderful, and the like Eloc, like let me tell you, like the penguins, like oh my goodness, there's some people in that community that are just amazing, and I love them. Like Moose and PP, and like I just love like all these different super powerful communities that come together and help. Like they don't care like what community you're in; they're just like here to have a good time and help each other. But it's great.
Yeah, like I guess the penguins like saved me. Because, like, I was, like, DeFi lurker before, like, never interacting. And, like, I was getting so depressed because the Bitcoin maxis were just fucking toxic. And I'm like, this fucking sucks. And then I, like, got a penguin. And I'm like, oh, we're just fucking around, like, memeing and just having a good time. And I've had, like, the most fun I've ever had. Met friends, like, all over the world. And, like, penguins are just super chill. And, like, they don't... Like, we kind of just snuff away, like, any negative stuff. And, like, we were just having a good time.
It's amazing how you find that in like so many different little ecosystems within this massive ecosystem. I think if you've been here long enough, you've been through some of the areas where Smokey was talking about, some spaces that you may not resonate with, but over time, if you just keep trying to find your tribe and keep finding people that resonate with you, it's really, I think, one of the best times in human history that we have to really collaborate on a mindfulness level of really helping one another, like unconditionally, because we're all here for this new frontier, right? So it adds that level to, man, these people are here with me. I'm here for this. Let's see what beautiful creation we can ultimately attain here together. And that's been one of the most incredible aspects I've seen in this ecosystem. You talk about Pudgies, you talk about Utes. I mean, hell, look at Wonky Stonks. Wonky Stonks is a completely different project, and we did ultimately the same thing. We came over here, we collaborated together, we vibed together, and we have continue to stay resilient and build a foundation for people to really improve their lives with outside of this space as well.
Pick on. And you guys feel free. I'm sorry, I'm in the middle of doing something real quick. So
he's still reading my long ass DM.
Feel free to keep it rolling. Don't worry about the hands. Just keep it
civilized.
Yeah,
what's up, Kaleo? What's up, guys? I just hopped in the space, but I was listening to what Eloc was saying about, working in Web3, and I'm not building or anything, but I think one of the most attractive things to me is that, obviously crypto is very young, and, everyone in this space believes that it's here to stay. But just like the culture that's being built, during the bear market over the last 6 months to a year, I think I just find it pretty special, like the resiliency that a lot of people just said, fuck it, we don't care about the price. We're just going to show up here every day, have a good time, create these communities and see what's going to happen in the future. That's kind of one of the most appealing things to me. I think crypto outside of crypto native people has a certain narrative. A lot of people think it's a scam. It's useless. It's used for money laundering, whatever. But, in the long run of things, we're still really, really early, whether the price is reflected or not. And I think there is value, in creating a certain type of culture. And that's kind of what I've just been seeing across the NFT space, whether it's the penguins, the seals, the frogs, the stonks. So, I just want to show up every day and be a part of that culture and see where it takes us.
I love it, man. Caesar, Smokey, you guys can go ahead and just chime in whenever. And also, Platy, welcome to the stage. I see you up here. So whenever you want to jump into, feel free.
Love it. Go for it, Caesar.
No, I was going to say go for it. You go for it, bro. Yeah, I was going to say that. Go.
Go ahead, Smokey. We'll go
All
Smokey,
right.
Platty, and Caesar. All right.
All right. Well, yeah, I really like what's being talked about here, and something that like I've thought a lot about with like the evolution of social media is how it really took people away from each other, right? Because it was supposed to be this way for us to be able to connect with each other much easier, but really in the end we just ended up scrolling through a bunch of posts, lurking. I heard I think Elon put out some metric where like 90% of people they don't put out any content on social media, they just scroll, right? But then like with Web3 and these NFTs and DeFi, I've been in like, super crazy DeFi communities that were really wonderful, right? And coin communities. And now like with Web3, like these spaces are really like, honestly, Twitter and spaces, I kind of think of it as like a very early version of the metaverse. Right, we get to represent ourselves as these avatars with these usernames in anonymity, and it's kind of like coming full circle finally with Web3 and NFTs and spaces, to where people are actually getting what was the goal of social media, or the supposed goal, and it's bringing people closer together. And it's bringing people closer together from all different backgrounds and areas of the world, which is like really wonderful to like open up your mind and your perspective. So yeah, it's just great. And like, we're still so early. Can you imagine like when the time comes to where, because like I know that there's all these projects like building metaverses, but I don't think any of them are actually going to be what is going to be the real metaverse. I think that will actually come when there's multiple large multi-billion-dollar corporations working on it at the same time. It's not going to be these individual ones. And once that like comes about, like how amazing that's going to be, because we're going to be the first users of something like that, to where there really is this amazing connectivity that's brought through bringing people together that way, where people can get any form, like anybody can get any education just because no matter where they are in the world, because like they can just like connect in and log in and get there. So yeah, it's pretty cool to be here this early. And just be we're going to be some of the first users of this new emerging tech, and I love it.
We're in the metaverse right now on this call.
Yeah, right. And another one to that, Smokey, to your point about the connectivity as well. I definitely take advantage of the in real life opportunities that we have within this space too, like some of the events, some of the parties. Go there and share that energy too. I'm a big proponent in that in real life connection within this space as well. So, Caesar, you're up, brother.
Yo, touching on what Smokey was saying, yeah, one of the features of Web3 and NFTs and this type of stuff is that I feel is probably the less racist place to be in the world. Like, is people from fucking all over the world, all the fucking skin colors, and everyone just fucking come and try to make it, right? So it's really amazing. And I did my master's in economic history, and like one of the fundamental features of innovation is diversity. So the more diverse, the more innovation there will be. That's one of the reasons why I'm so bullish on NFTs, because so many people from different backgrounds, different minds come together, and they fucking build stuff, right? And this type of communities start to happen, and innovation comes. But on, I was talking again on another Twitter Spaces today that I was hosting, and there was this guy with kind of like a bit hopeless vision about NFTs, and a bit pessimistic, low vibration. You get my point? He was saying, because I was actually also saying like this, right? Yeah, like people come together, this is super nice. And then the guy was like, yeah, but just wait until we go to the bullish market. In the bullish market, everyone will be alone. No more fucking community. Like, do you get my point? Like, the community works.
How many bull markets has that kid been through? I mean, probably not many.
Yeah. Wait, Kaleo, wait. So he said that, man. He said that. But look, He said that people in the beer market they come together, and then people in the bull market they don't fucking come together. Like everyone's just selling their bags, whatever. But I am fucking all enough, man. All enough, or I don't know if all enough, but all enough to fucking think for myself and think that might be fucking bullshit. You get my point? That might be fucking bullshit. So I do also agree that the community and the vibes and the shit that we are experiencing every fucking day here is never happen ever, right? Ever. So we don't know what the fuck is coming on the next bull market. We have no fucking idea, man. So many people in, so many smart people in. So yeah, man, I'm fucking bullish and I love what's going on.
Hey, I just want to one quick comment on that thing that guy said. Dude, it's not true. I mean, you build your close friends during the bear market, but you know, the friends that you build here are the ones that are riding with you winning during the bull market. It's not just all of a sudden turn into a solo game. I mean, if anything, that's where the real strength of leveraging these connections comes into play. So I completely disagree with that. Like for me, that just shows that like that person has definitely not experienced a full cycle because it's BS. So you know, again, the people that you're talking to, building these connections with, networking now, like your network is your net worth, and you know, surround yourself by the right people because whether you like it or not, like a lot of these people will be the ones that you ride with during the bull market. And hey, you know, the only thing that's tough about the bull market is it's crazy enough that sometimes, you know, there's so much going on. Sometimes some of those connections might fade, but usually, you know, another takes its place. So it doesn't mean, and I think honestly, NFTs kind of change that dynamic a bit because if you know, a big part of your community are with the, you know, the NFT project that you're involved with, you know, yeah, you might get some rotation out of that crew, but if anything, a lot of the people that you're here with now, I'm sure are going to be right there next to you as everything's going up only also. Puck, what's up, man? Welcome back to the stage.
Yeah, thank you. I was just going to build off what Caesar was saying about how there's it's like the least racist place. It's not only that, it's like there's all sorts of species too. Like next to me, there's a panda, there's penguins, there's a beautiful bald man with a beard. All sorts of creatures are welcome here. But on a real note, I think one of the reasons this community is so amazing is it starts at the top, right, with the leaders. Like Kaleo is one of the best people, if not the best, on crypto Twitter. Just like such a real guy. The co-host 80s, like these guys, you can tell within like 3 minutes of them talking, like how awesome they are and how they actually want to do good in this space. Like I've been a part of projects where the leaders are terrible, and it's like almost even if the community wants to be, you know, cohesive and get along, it's like impossible if there's not good leadership.
100%. You know, to add to what you guys are talking about, that diversity, that is huge. For me, one of the biggest things is access. Is having access to people with different skills from all over the world that you wouldn't have. Maybe if you didn't go to college with them, you know what I mean? Like, where do you meet people nowadays, strangers, and you talk to them and you get to know them? Like, if you're not out there, if you go to the bar, you're not necessarily going to talk about business. So this space right here gives you access to, you know, people that already made it, people that are trying to make it, maybe somebody that works construction can give you a tip. You can ask questions, you can build relationships, and then that falls back into what Khalil was talking about, the relationships. I feel like if you build through relationships, doesn't matter which way the market is going. Um, those are the ones that stand. No matter what happens, the storms. It could be a year. Like when it's real, it's real. You know what I mean? You know it. When you've been gone for a year, you haven't talked to your friend, and you see them and you hug them, and it's like, hey, it's like yesterday. That was a real relationship. Everything else will fade, whether the market is going up or down.
You got to find your ride or die, and you can find your ride or die right here, man. There's a whole plethora of people out here that'll ride or die with you, man. I've met a lot of amazing amazing people, human beings in this space. And I know if I needed anything in my life that you guys will be here for me, and vice versa. I'd do anything for you guys and girls.
Yeah, sorry, I'm still running around right now.
Still
So like I
reading the
said,
DM.
so feel free, if you guys have your hands up, feel free to just jump in with the flow of the conversation for now. No need to, and I know like that can feel a little intimidating, a little bit bold right now, a little bit out of the structural norm, but sometimes we just got to go with the flow.
Beautiful, beautiful. I will go then. And what Mr. Pook was saying about Kaleo being a good leader. Kaleo is a good leader for us because for some reason I feel the IQ in these tour spaces is a decent IQ. You get my point? And it's not only the IQ but also the experience. I feel some maturity in these spaces. I have touched upon this before. Like if you go to other tour spaces, you feel definitely only fucking people screaming and talking BS and BS and BS, and it's so much BS, right? But there is a crowd of people that like that stuff. You get my point? There is a crowd of people that like people screaming at each other and just gossiping around and just fucking being clowns. I mean, and you get my point. And sometimes that can be fun. But yeah, I mean, 100%. For some reason, yeah, people in the tour spaces at Kaleos are people with some fucking good IQ that you learn a lot. So it's a lot of alpha. So I 100% feel my time being used in a very good way. Besides that, as a cherry on the cake, is positive vibes, man. It's fucking positive vibes. So, I mean, alpha plus positive vibes, man. I mean, it's fucking beautiful.
Something that I was thinking about. I'm not sure. Oh, I think it was you, Caesar, that was saying that. They were talking about how that person was talking about how in a bull market, right? Like all of a sudden there's like no community. It's like, well, I mean, I could disagree more with that. I agree with what Kaleo was saying. Bear market is where you make these connections, these very strong connections, right? And I will say that, like, being in bull markets, there's a lot more noise, right? So there's definitely
Priorities are different in a bull market. A lot of times,
Yeah, people are more focused. Like they gotta be really watching out for like what's the next mint or what's the next thing coming up. So it is a little bit less focus on community and connections. But yeah, I mean, this is the time to make the connections with the people that you want to go forth into the bull market with. And yeah, it's just, I don't know, like I've definitely been able to once I started kind of like focusing on community, right? And investing in projects based on community rather than, oh, okay, like, is this going to make me a big bag? Which is like, kind of like, I don't know. That's where I think the most value is, at least at this point in the bear market. Like I've been able to make a little money here and there. But I've just been having a lot better time with that. And I'm really excited to go into the next bull market with all these connections that I've made and to see what's going to come of that. Like, I don't know. But, something that I've been kind of, really thinking about lately, I've started to, like have some success with spaces and some different things. And I've just been trying to focus on not pigeonholing myself, not taking opportunities too quickly, because I think that it could kind of paint me into a corner. But then also not staying so focused on like one blockchain, like just Solana NFTs, just Polygon, or just ETH, or not focusing on DeFi, right? Like I want to like be able to, I just don't want to hit a ceiling, and I do see that, sometimes for some people, and I just like, I really just enjoy engaging with all communities of people who are experts, right? Or who have spent a lot of time researching whatever it is that they're passionate about, and then having them come and like providing a space for them to discuss those things so I can learn about them. So yeah, it's I'm super excited for the hopefully continual uptrend. So then we can just kind of have a little more excitement in the market and just keep things moving in this direction.
I love that. And there's something like you can almost meme it, right? And last year was a big thing. It's the Wild West, right? And right now we have the opportunity to experiment on so many different levels. We don't have to pigeonhole ourselves in one area. We don't have to listen to the crowd that says do A, B, and C. You can literally test and push any boundary you want right now. And the awesome part about it is if you fail, you learn from it and you try something else and you just keep going. But don't, like you said, pigeonhole yourself. Get out there and try and test new things, man. It's a beautiful time to explore and experiment in your life.
100%. My wallpaper for my phone is fortune favors the bold, right? Something like that. Just be brave, but it doesn't mean that you gotta go. We're not living back then where, Khalil's profile, Spartan 300 against thousands. That's not required right now. But just a hesitation to do little things that you might want to try and things like that. Years could go by, and then you look back and damn, if I would have done that back then, uh, all that time I would have known already. The experience, the learning, everything. For me, I wanted to add something that I'm personally been working on. And then when we talk about positive vibes, in my personal life, something that I've been trying to fix is what I say, the words that come out of my mouth, and looking at things in a positive way. So, if I'm going to talk about somebody, um, personal life, friends, family, whatever, if it's not something positive, I got to shut up, right? If it's not going to help that person, I gotta keep it to myself. Unless I'm warning somebody else, hey, be careful, blah, 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 giving that advice. Besides that, what you say has a lot of power. It comes through. And then when you approach your day and you get up, and maybe the start of the day is not great. Oh, shit, it's going to be a shitty day. Well, you just said it, man. It is going to be a shitty day. You're going to make it a shitty day. It's all about your attitude. You know what I mean? It's all about your attitude. What you do, how you move, what you want to do. You want somebody to do better, you go directly to them and say what you need to improve that. I don't like that. You start talking about them to somebody else. That's not going to help. It's not going to help. They're going to be just like that. In your eyes, you're going to be that negativity. So I'm working on the exercise of whatever I'm going to say, it's going to be positive. I'm looking at life in an optimistic way. Things that are going to happen in the future, they're going to happen. I'm going to do them. I'm going to get there. My goals are coming through. The whole thing for me, I explained this to somebody not too long ago, was let's just put if you're saying, right, in 30 days, something good might happen, but if it doesn't happen, you're going to be sad. And then I see most of the people nowadays, throughout those 30 days, they're already anticipating for that event to be negative. So they spend 30 days sad, stressed, and everything, thinking about how bad it's going to be if it doesn't happen how they want it. And then, boom, two things can happen. It either happens how they want, so now they're happy while that lasts, or it doesn't, and now they're sad. So, I mean, you could have spent 30 days being happy, and then just a few days, maybe, because we are emotional beings, a little sad because it didn't come your way. Or you could have spent 30 days and then more being happy. So being positive and the positive vibes in your personal life, I think can change a lot. And I'm starting to work on that a lot. So just wanted to throw that out there.
Ezel, thank you for sharing that, man. And that's something that ever since Peru I've been doing, is every morning I verbalize out loud before I do anything in the morning. Upon awakening, I verbalize my gratitude, number one, for why I'm here in this moment, for what has brought me to right here. Second, I verbalize what I'm blessed for, and lastly, I give love, and I verbalize this like loudly, and there is so much truth to power in word. Like if you speak that, you can manifest, and it goes back to what you were saying. You're altering your mindset. You're switching it from, oh man, fuck, today I got to do this, that, and the other, instead of saying, oh, I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here right now to experience this. And in experiences, there is no good or bad. It's just experiences for us to embrace and to align with our true selves and our authentic selves. So if something does happen that is bad, don't approach it as bad. Approach it as an experience for us to continue to evolve.
Yeah, that is 80s. That's why I love you, man. You always are able to take things to the next level, and dude, it's invaluable to this community. But ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. There are a few things that I've been trying to multitask, but unfortunately, I do need to wrap up the space. So might do another late night one. It's tough to end these right now, especially with some of the momentum we're getting. I mean, heck, we've had like you know three pretty decent sales over the last few minutes. We've had like a couple sweeps during the space itself. We're down to 60, let's see, 68 stonks away from that all-time high. Only 68 stonks away. It is just slowly creeping there. But it's going to be slowly then all at once, man, because the stonks are inevitable.
Inevitable.
B ways.
So, hey, any of y'all starting up a space or anything before I wrap this up?
Tomorrow we have two spaces, but not today. We have one with Voltura, room 110, and then we have another one in the morning. Let's fucking grow. We're talking about security, so.
Love to hear it, man. Okay, so check that out. If you're not following everybody up here on stage, make sure you do that. Check out room 110. Also, they got some quality alpha heading into the both the bear and the bull market. So make sure to check them out. But with that, as always, appreciate everyone coming. We are doing these every single day until we break above that all-time high. And it's going to happen. The stonks are inevitable. Until next time, see you later.
Much love.